All right, welcome to lesson 2 for unit 2. We're going to talk about ecosystem services in this one. So learning goal is that you will be able to understand the different types of ecosystem services and their importance to humans. Our AP learning objective and essential knowledge for this lesson is you should be able to describe ecosystem services, meaning there are 4 categories of ecosystem services: provisioning, regulating, cultural, and supporting. And then you should be able to describe the results of human disruptions to those services. So anthropogenic activities can disrupt ecosystem services, potentially resulting in economic and ecological consequences. And by the end of this lesson, you should be able to define ecosystem services in their 4 main categories, explain the significance of ecosystem services to human well-being, provide examples of provisioning, regulating, cultural, and supporting services, and describe how anthropogenic activities can disrupt ecosystem services and the resulting consequences. Okay, so let's start with what are ecosystem services. So ecosystem services are the benefits that humans receive from nature, including resources, processes, and conditions necessary for our survival and well-being. Ecosystem services are essential for our survival, health, and economic prosperity, making them a critical aspect of environmental science. And our categories are provisioning, regulating, cultural, supporting, and then cultural. So let's start with provisioning. Provisioning services are the direct goods obtained from ecosystems that support human life, such as food, clean water, raw materials, and medicinal plants. So more examples include agricultural, providing food, rivers and lakes with clean water, forests with timber, lumber, wood, and then medicinal plants offering natural remedies. They play a fundamental role in our daily lives in the global economy, and they can be disrupted by overharvesting, water pollution, clearing land for agriculture and urbanization. All right, our regulating services are the functions of ecosystems that help maintain environmental balance, including pollution control, climate regulation, and disease control. So specific examples are wetlands purifying water, forests mitigating climate change through carbon sequestration, and then natural predator-prey dynamics controlling disease vectors. And then regulating services are important to maintaining environmental balance and supporting human well-being, and they are mainly disrupted by deforestation, but any real habitat destruction is going to affect them as well. Supporting services are the underlying processes within ecosystems, including soil formation, nutrient cycling, and primary productivity or production, which are necessary to sustain all other ecosystem services. So the supporting services support the regulating service. They support the cultural service. We need these things happening for everything else to work. Supporting services are vital because the interdependence of these services and their significance to ecosystem functioning. It's disrupted by pollinator habitat loss and then also filling in wetlands for development. But again, any habitat loss is going to affect this. And last but not least is cultural services. So cultural services encompass the non-material benefits people obtain from ecosystems. Examples include natural spaces for recreation and relaxation, spiritual connections with nature, and the inspiration derived from natural landscape. And cultural services have a positive impact on cultural services on our mental and emotional well-being. Got a typo there. And they're disrupted by deforestation, pollution, urbanization, any change to whatever is culturally significant. Examples are some Native communities, especially in like Northern California, there is a deep connection with the rivers and the streams and the fish that go through. And when we had our governments wanting to get more green energy and building dams on those rivers, those streams that affected those fish populations. And that had a huge impact on the cultural services that community was able to receive from the environment around them. So anthropogenic activities and ecosystem services. Anthropogenic activities are any human action that impact the environment. Anthropogenic means human. Anthro is anything that's human. Human activities like deforestation, pollution, and overexploitation can harm ecosystems and disrupt the services that they provide. Other examples could be pollution compromising regulating services and overfishing depleting fisheries. And then the economic and ecological consequences we get from those. There are financial implications of disrupted services, including increased costs for resources, loss of livelihoods, and then economic instability. But there are also environmental repercussions like biodiversity loss, habitat destruction, and then ecosystem degradation. All right, we're going to end this lesson with a practice FRQ. There should be space on your notes. If there is not, you can use a separate piece of paper or type it. But you're going to answer these questions to see if that lesson clicked. So first, you're going to describe an ecosystem service that intact forest ecosystems provide for humans. Identify one human activity that could degrade this ecosystem service and explain how that activity decreases the value of that ecosystem service. You can work with a partner or someone else on this. Just make sure you write it down and let me know if you have any questions.